Hey, how's it going? This is Justin Gilman with Quantum Leads, and today I'll be walking through your digital marketing attack plan to show you how you can turn your website into a lead generation machine and really generate some revenue for your business month over month. Now, if we take a look at the top here, we're looking at Colorado Springs Roofing, which generates about 1,000 searches every single month. Obviously, there's a lot more volume out there when you take into account search terms like roof installation, roof repair, roofing near me. However, for the sake of time in this video, we're just going to focus in on this one search term and show you how you can turn these 1,000 searches a month into revenue for your business. So let's start out by taking a look at your website. So here we are on your website, and if we scroll down, I think you have a very visually aesthetic website. However, if we want people to be able to find our website online organically, there's going to be a lot more that we have to do to make that happen. And now the first thing we have to do is internal search engine optimization, which is essentially just all the different ways that we can improve your website from within the site itself. Now, normally when you hear that, you're going to hear things like title tags, heading tags, local business schema. But for the sake of this video, we're just going to focus on the two most important aspects, which are content and keywords. So let's talk about content first. Why is content so important? Well, we want a very content-full website because that's going to give users something to engage with. And when a user has something to engage with, they're more likely to have a better experience, and that makes them more likely to come back to your website in the future or to use Google for future searches. Now, it would make sense that Google would promote a website that's very content-full because ultimately that's a win-win scenario for them. So normally I like to recommend about 750 to 1,000 words on any page. Obviously, you can go a lot higher than that if you would like, but 750 to 1,000 words is the bare minimum that I've noticed is very contentful without necessarily taking away from the visual aesthetic of the website itself. So, like I said, 750 to 1,000 words, but you're probably asking yourself, well, Justin, why don't I just take a website, throw 10,000 words on it, and call it a day? And the reason we can't do that is because we have to make sure that our content remains relevant. And the way we do that is with our keywords. Keywords are the most used words or phrases on a website. And based on these keywords, we're going to tell Google a lot of information about our site itself or our business. So normally I could tell people with our keywords, we want to answer the three main questions, which are what do we do? Where do we do it? And ultimately, who are we? So let's take a look at your keywords and see if they answer those three main questions for Google. So here we are on a tool I like to use called Keywords Everywhere. And if we scroll down here, let's take a look at your most used keywords. For the sake of time, we're just going to focus on the first six. However, I do always recommend further optimizing if possible. But let's take a look at your keywords. So number one and two, we want to be our most industry-specific keywords. So roofing at number one is perfect. However, at number two, I always recommend some sort of complement to the first keyword. So most of the time, you're going to see roof at the number two position. So roofing at number one, roof at number two. We could also put home in there if you do more residential jobs, or if you're trying to target a specific service, we could put repair or installation. But we want it to be some sort of complement to that first keyword. Now, number three and four, we want those to be our location-based keywords. Location-based keywords are super important because they are going to tell Google where we do business and ultimately help them drive local traffic to our website. So we definitely want those in there. Now, number five and six, we want our brand in there. The reason we want our brand in there is because ultimately, yes, we're going to have people who look for things like Colorado Springs Roofing or roofing companies. However, we're also going to have people who look directly for our brand. So ultimately, we want to appear for those searches. And by having our brand at number five and six, that's going to allow us to do that. So just a quick recap, one and two, industry specific search terms. Three and four, location based search terms. And five and six, we want our branding based search terms. So let's take a look at some of your competition and see what they're doing as far as content and keywords go. So here we have Divine Roofing, and they rank on the first page organically for roofing services in the Colorado Springs area. And let's see why. So if we scroll down here, you're going to notice that they have a ton of content on this webpage, and it is working very favorably for them because, like I said, they are ranking on the first page. But ultimately, like I said, you can't rank number one with just content. You need to make sure that it's relevant content. So let's take a look at their keywords and see what they're working with so far. So once again, we're back to keywords everywhere. And if we scroll down, we have roofing at number one. Like I said, very industry specific search term. Then number two, they have roof. Then they go into the location, Colorado Springs. Then they have commercial, residential. So a variety of different industry specific search terms. I would recommend using this list for some ideas of your own, along with the suggestions I gave you to create the strongest keywords list possible. But let's go back to your website and talk about external search engine optimization and how it ties into everything here. So we briefly touched on keywords, and now we're talking about external search engine optimization, which is essentially just all the different ways that we can improve your website from outside of the website itself. Now, in this case, we'll be talking about backlinking, which is very simple at face value, just a link from one website to another. However, from an SEO perspective, a lot more is happening. When you get a link from one website to the next, you are essentially saying that you trust the information that comes from that website or that you trust the business that that website is representing. So, a very big statement, and when that statement is made to Google, it can ultimately help our rankings in a very positive fashion. But we have to be very careful because just like we can tell Google that we're a quality website or a trustworthy business with quality links, we can also tell Google that we are a non-trustworthy business or a harmful website by getting links from non-trustworthy sources. So that can really affect our rankings very negatively and drop our website a ton of different spots. And we don't want that to happen. So only quality links on our website. But let's take a look at your current backlink structure and see what you've been working with so far. So here we are in a tool I use called Ahrefs, and as you'll see here, your website generates an 11 UR, a 4.3 DR, which brings in about 80 users every single month and about $400 worth of traffic value. So not bad at all, but we can always expand on these metrics. But first, let's understand what they mean. So UR stands for URL rating, and what that is the individual power given to a single web page. So in this case, we would just be talking about your home page and the power that it generates, which is an 11 UR. Whereas DR, on the other hand, is the power that goes to your entire website. So not just your home page, but also any service pages you have, your About Us page, your contact page. Every page in one is essentially summarized in DR. Now we want the strongest of both of these metrics, along with a strong internal SEO, to create the most value for our business, which brings me to my next stat, which is traffic value. Traffic value is a measure of the buyer intent of each user based on the keyword that they come from. So, to give you an example, somebody looking for roofs doesn't necessarily transfer as much traffic value as somebody looking for roof repair or roof installation. Now, the reason being is that somebody looking for roofs might be looking for a picture of a roof, an article of a roof, we don't necessarily know. Whereas somebody looking for roof repair or roof installation is directly looking to purchase a service, thus they carry a lot more traffic value. Now, I will say though that just because this number is 400 doesn't mean that you're only generating $400. Just if one person buys a roof alone, you're making a lot more than $400. However, this is the estimated value of the traffic that comes to your website. So let's go over to some of your competitors and see what they're doing as far as these external SEO metrics go. So here we have Divine Roofing again with a 38 UR and 11 DR, generates about 300 users every single month and about $4,000 worth of traffic value. Now, like I said, they have a strong internal SEO and a strong external SEO. So even though they have similar amounts of traffic, they're generating a lot more value because the search terms that they are ranking for have a lot more buyer intent. And that's ultimately what we want. We want to rank for search terms that are going to generate us some revenue for our business. So definitely something to think about. But let's keep working down the line here to look at some other competitors. We have Total Roofing Company with 29 UR, a 19 UR, roughly 400 users, and about $8,000 month over month in traffic value. Then we have AmeriPro with an 11 UR, a 27 DR, 250 users a month, and $5,000 worth of traffic value. So this is also a case where a website isn't as strong, but their internal SEO matches up, and they do have some external SEO, and ultimately they are reaping some value off of it. So like I said, a clear correlation between a strong SEO structure and the amount of value you can generate for your business. But let's go back to the Google search engine results page and talk about the Google Map Pack for a second. So we're back to the search engine results page, and what we've been talking about is down here in the organic search results. But if we go back up, we also have this map pack here, and this is super important because it essentially gives our business a second place that we can win online. Or I should say on Google, we can win down below, or you can win up here in the map pack. And if we can do both, we guarantee that 1,000 people see our business first before looking at another company every single month. So a lot of potential, a lot of value. But to get into the map pack, we first have to verify our business via postcard with Google, which is 100% free to do. Now, in order to rank in the map pack, we have to adhere to the different factors that they're looking for. Number one, they look for that you filled out their form to 100%. The reason I say 100% is because the more information you give them, the more reputable your business looks. Number two, they look for a strong organic presence, which is why SEO is so important because not only does it help down below, but it also helps us influence this map pack. And number three, they look for citations. Now, citations are all the different places your business's name, address, and phone number are listed online. Some popular citations are things like Yelp, Facebook, Instagram, Yellow Pages, Yellow Book. All those are different citations, and you can get them for your business, and they will ultimately help you in the Google Map Pack. So let's take a look at how many citations each of these companies has and determine how many you'll need in order to go in and start outranking them. So here we are in a tool I use called Whitespark, and you'll see Premier Roofing Company has 27 citations, Divine Roofing has 24, and Rampart Roofing has 47. Now, I normally recommend that you double the biggest amount in here. So if there's 47 citations, we're going to need 94 in order to really go in and outrank them along with our internal and external SEO structure. Now, that's all I really have for you in this video. And if you do these steps, you should start to see some value and some real big moves as far as the traffic and the revenue that your business is generating. However, I'd love to set up a meeting with you guys after this to talk about any questions you have about things that were mentioned in this video or maybe things that weren't mentioned in this video. So once again, my name is Justin Gilman with Quantum Leads, and you'll be able to schedule that meeting by clicking the button at the bottom of our email. But I hope this video is very educational, and thank you for watching.